Okay guys, here we are for um, another 8-man queue. This is going to be the third 8-man here with the new blue-white humans deck, and very excited to keep testing it out against the meta to see what's out there. Up against zombies, looks like. Alright. So it could be the blue-black variant or the red-black, possibly using pod. But I'm very excited to see kind of what our plan looks like against zombies. So no plays, which means he probably has the tragic slip for our champion. And here we could go ahead and like drop out, you know, the fortress here just because we want our turn 3 to be ready. So we're going to drop fortress, drop the champion, and see if we can trade some blows here. Against zombies, I think the best plan of action is definitely to be racing. We really can't block their guys just for fear of the either the messenger or also just kind of with the blood artist if they have that in play. So mostly we're just going to be racing here. The next turn we can go ahead and drop down the splicer. We can also go ahead and actually just image one of our champions and then drop a champion, which is actually kind of disgusting with how many champions we have in play. You know, I kind of like that a little bit more, so I think we're going to do that instead, and just bash in as much as possible here. So at this point, definitely racing, I think, just because we're going to be having a much bigger team next turn also. Then he's probably going to be dropping, like, Falcon Wrath this turn? Yeah. So hopefully we can pick up, like, a Fiend Hunter would be amazing right here. Otherwise, just continuing to bash. So now, I mean, next turn, I don't think he can kill us this turn. So we just bash in, force game, yeah. Alright. So being able to image the champion there is definitely a nice option for us. Now, up against zombies, here's our plan, especially against black-red. Bringing in the Trinket Mage, the Cage, the Freezes, the Staff, Life Staff, Spellskite, Purge, O-Ring, Nevermore, cutting the Angels, the Talia, and the Image. just because a lot of times, you know, we're not necessarily going to have a target for image we don't really want a copy of any of his guys, and we want more of a faster start. I mean, even though Restoration Angel definitely gives us a lot of strong game, it's definitely not as fast of a start. Okay. Talia, while still very good against him, at the same time is really going to be hampering some of the spells we're going to be using. We want to make sure we have access to those, so just kind of making room there. And I think, let's just double check here. So we're keeping the missteps out, yeah. I kind of spent a little bit of time putting together a sideboard plan for some of the major matchups here, just after sort of thinking out a little bit. And it's kind of nice to have a easy reference there to look at. This hand is not as strong. It does have the Grafdigger's Cage, which is very important, but it's a little bit slower on the draw. Okay. So we're still just going to sit here. Luckily he doesn't have too much of an early start. If he drops the Artist, we want to make sure we have Gutshot ready. And here we can go ahead, we can actually force the Mortar Pod just to allow our champion to resolve. But I think that we want to, let's think here. I think we want to go ahead and, I want to kind of save our mana here a little bit. I think we're just going to go ahead and Trinket Mage this turn so that next turn we can go ahead drop Champion and Silverblade. We could also just drop Silverblade this turn as well. And then just drop Trinket Mage and Champion next turn. And I mean, otherwise we can pick up Life Staff this way. Kind of smooths out our draws a little bit. Could really kind of go either way. I think we're going to go ahead and, yeah, we can drop Silverblade here, I think. Push a little bit more damage if it sticks around. So now, definitely going to go ahead and force the Mortar Pod here. Now he's got a lot of action. He probably has something for our champion, at least a Tragic Slip, maybe Doomblade, potentially. But we're still just going to be pushing in. Next turn we're going to be Trinket Maging for Life Staff. Or we could just drop Splicer. Especially since we don't have enough mana to equip Life Staff, I kind of like dropping Splicer here instead. So now he's really on the back foot. He's going to need some pretty big action here to turn this around. And we've got O-Ring back up. This could be like Black Sun for 1, I guess. Go ahead and take out Splicer, whiff our attack, and now we get to go ahead and pick up. I'm going to go ahead and fan. We've got Angel, but we'll pick up the Life Staff. Well, let's think about this for a moment. We can just go ahead and O-Ring the Mortar Pod and then sort of stop his shenanigans with Gravecrawler. I kind of like that. It does also force him to shoot the Splicer, which means we can push our Golem through. And I think we're going to go ahead and do that. Now we're coming in for a lot of damage. Coming in for 10, pushing him to 2, so he's going to need quite a bit of action next turn to turn this around. And there's the GG. Alright. So I like our board plan against zombies. Gives us, quite a bit of action here, and especially against like the black-red, being able to bring in flash freeze really helps out quite a bit. So we will see you for the next round.